It is exactly 1 p.m. East Africa time. Good afternoon and welcome. This is the great KBC. It's good to have you on board. My name is Njue and Susan Thuku will be our sign language. I'm informed it's Anne Wangeshi who will be our sign language interpreter for these live newscasts. For comments, suggestions, or even where you're watching us from, we are open on all our social media spaces. Straight through the news, remember we are keeping tabs with the doctors or the medics strike. Remember, today marks 20 days since the medics downed their tools and urged the government to, first of all, go through their demands before they can work out a back-to-work agreement. Other than that, we are also keeping tabs with the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers who already have also downed their tools. But for now, let's have an update of where the doctor strike is. Let's have that. We have a live coverage of that. Let's cross over and hear what the medics have to say.
Go for 80% of the time. That means we can go up to 100 days. And that is to have this thing implemented. We may go 200 days, as I've always said. And I say we may even go up to eternity until the time they feel like, no, we need to have these issues resolved. Because the collective bargaining agreement is a contract between the doctors and the employer, which is both the national government and the county government. The moment that they have realized and they feel like they can manipulate it, they can ignore it, they can step on it, it means that there's no respect that is existing between the governments and the union. We have seen this being done very deliberately and being done openly. For one, we have seen the Ministry of Health deciding to actually reduce the salary of the interns by 91%. This is after contravening the agreement that they need to post these doctors after every 30 days once they oath from the councils and from the boards. We are saying no to that. We've also seen the county governors coming out very strongly, saying that they are as clean as cotton, that there's nothing they've done, they have no sin they've committed, that it is the responsibility of the doctors that patients are dying in the hospitals. But we keep asking them that did they not each of the counties sign the collective bargaining agreement that has not been implemented? It was signed by 47 governors. It was signed by the Ministry of Health. So in total, we have 48 collective bargaining agreements signed by the KMPDU. We have agreement with Kenya National Hospital. We have agreement with Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital. We have a recognition agreement with K2TRH. We have the same with the university colleges that are offering medical courses. So there's nobody who will say that this is not our issue. It is the issue of national government, or this is not our issue. It is the issue of counties. We know very well that treasury in this country has not been devolved. So the issues of healthcare must be considered as such. If it is to be an issue of a country, then the government must come out strongly to defend it. We cannot only say that we have universal health care by building white elephant projects in different counties, because as of today, the report from WHO indicates that Kenya has actually reached the level of facilities that it needs to have. But what about the level of doctors? We are at 1 to 17,000. It means that it will take us 50 years to actually get the number of doctors we need to have in the facilities. And therefore we are saying, number one, they must post the medical interns as per the CBA. Yes. Number two, we are saying that they have to implement the CBA. They must pay the basic salary arrears that is owed for 7 years. They have a court order that they need to implement. They need to expunge that contempt before they come telling us about contempt. Number three, they must actually pay the postgraduate fees for the doctors who are wallowing in desperation in the universities. They must actually promote the doctors in the counties. They must have a plan to employ doctors. We have a big shortage that has never been seen before. Yet we have over 4,000 doctors that have not been employed. Yet some counties also give them exploitative contracts. We have KNH exploiting these doctors. So we are saying as a union, this is day 20 of our strike.
That has been Davji Atela, who is the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentist Union Secretary General, live from the RFUA grounds in Gongro, right here in the capital, Nairobi. And they say, despite the fact that it's 20 days, they are ready to continue for months into their strike. But something they've mentioned is that they will continue, they will not relent in their quest to better their terms as medics. The CBA must be implemented, the collective bargaining agreement that was signed a couple of years back. And also they say the interns it's non-negotiable. They must be absorbed in PNP, that's permanent and pensionable terms. We will be getting more of that in our subsequent bulletin. But moving on, and still tied to the doctor strike, residents of Igegania village in Gatundu, North Kiambu County, are expressing concern over the ongoing doctor strike that has grounded services at public hospitals to a halt. They say the industrial action has put their health at risk.
Tulikuwa tumekuja hapa juu ya shida ya my sister kupata mtoto na CS.
We do apologize for that technical hitch. We'll definitely revisit that story a little bit later on. But away from the medics strike, we do some politics where the UDA is organizing to do their party primaries, and they were with the UDA chairperson, that is Embu Governor Cecily Mbarire, and this is some of the things that they have agreed to resolve in regards to those elections. Let's first of all cross over and listen up.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I wish to read a statement following a National Steering Committee meeting that was chaired by the party leader, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya. And it reads as follows. Today, the 2nd of April 2024, the President and the party leader, His Excellency William Ruto, chaired a meeting of National Steering Committee, sitting on behalf of the National Executive Committee. The President emphasized and acknowledged the significance of the party and party democracy in our constitutional democracy and governance of our country. The NSC was sitting to deliberate on the upcoming grassroots elections as well as the constitution of the party organs. As you are aware, the UDA is determined to conduct a free and fair grassroots election in all the 47 counties. The election is to be conducted in the form and format of an electronically election which is unprecedented. All measures have been put in place to roll out the election in 4 phases as follows. Phase 1, on the 26th of April 2024, the election will be conducted in the following counties: Nairobi County, Narok County, West Pokot County, Busia County, Homa Bay County, Isiolo County, and Garissa County. Phase 2 of the elections will be conducted on 22nd of June 2024 in the following counties: Mombasa, Uasin Gishu, Nyandarua, Tharaka Nithi, Machakos, Kisii, Bungoma, Siaya, Taita Taveta, Wajir, Tana River, Kwale, and Marsabit counties. Phase 3, which will be conducted on the 10th of August, will be in the following counties: Kiambu, Embu, Kericho, Meru, Migori, Kakamega, Nyamira, Kitui, Elgeyo Marakwet, Samburu, Kajiado, Mandera, Kilifi, Murang'a, and Lamu counties. Phase 4 will be conducted on the 24th of August in the following counties: Nakuru, Bomet, Nyeri, Kirinyaga, Nandi, Baringo, Turkana, Laikipia, Trans Nzoia, Kisumu, Vihiga, and Makueni counties. Upon completion of the grassroots elections in all the counties, the UDA will conduct the ensuing county and national elections of the party by December 2024.
UDA chairperson and Embu Governor Cecily Mbarire there a little bit earlier on when UDA had met, including their party leader, who happens to be the President of Kenya, President William Ruto, in regards to the oncoming grassroots elections, which will begin on 26th of April with Nairobi and other counties. The others will be on 22nd of June, but the final ones will go on till the month of December, where they expect by the end of the this year, the party elections will be done and dusted. More on that in our subsequent bulletin. Moving on, a family related to former President Uhuru Kenyatta claims its land in Eastleigh, Nairobi, has been invaded by private developers who have commenced construction without authority. The family claims the invaders moved in 2022 when the former president retired from office, and the grabbers have blocked them from accessing their property and now want the government to intervene.
The Kenyatta family claims it's on the verge of losing its land in Eastleigh. The Kenyatta kin says invaders have moved into 49 out of 60 plots it owns in the expansive suburb and have commenced construction.
Na hizi ni plots zetu kutoka huko juu nimewaonyesha. Lakini wakati mzee alikuwa hai tulikuwa tunalipwa. Saa hii hao wako pale juu yenye imerentiwa, sijui wanalipa nani saa hii. Niko na watoto wachanga. Nauliza hivi, watoto wangu wataenda shule na nini?
They say the private developers continue to develop high-rise buildings on the plots without their consent, and intense activities kicked off after former President Uhuru Kenyatta left office.
Tulikuja hapa akianza kujenga. Tukamwambia waache kujenga hii plot, makaratasi ndio hii. Akatuambia hakuna, endeni kotini. Tulipoenda huko tukurudi huko tukakuta fairo imeibiwa.
The family says it has been barred from even setting foot on the plots and now wants the government to intervene. The family is now calling on the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and the Lands Cabinet Secretary Alice Wahome to intervene on the matter and assist them get back their property. Tilio Marco for Lunchtime News.
And now to the ongoing long rains. The Kenya Meteorological Department weather outlook indicates a peak in the long rains in April this year. This comes as the weatherman points out possible impacts such as flash floods, especially in the low-lying areas, lightning strikes, and an increased inflow into hydro reservoirs expected to boost hydro power generation in the country.
The onset of the long rains in April this year, as predicted by the Kenya Meteorological Department, portends potential risks such as soil erosion, waterlogging, and land degradation. Farmers are therefore advised to implement soil conservation measures and embrace sustainable land management practices in their agricultural strategies. The forecast also warns of possible isolated storms, flash floods and lightning strikes in notable areas like Kisii, Kisumu, Nandi, Kakamega, Narok and Bungoma, specifically the Mount Elgon areas. Further predictions indicate increased inflow into hydropower reservoirs that is expected to boost hydropower generation and contribute to grand power reachage for geothermal power production. There could also be higher instances of waterborne and vector-borne diseases due to water source contamination resulting from flooding and stagnant water, with relevant authorities urged to strengthen disease surveillance and early detection systems. Serafina Robi for Lunchtime News.
Elsewhere, a family in Kitutu Chache South Sub-County is gripped with fear for their lives after unidentified individuals invaded their farm, damaging their crops and threatening them with death. The incident comes in the wake of a 2-year dispute over ownership of the land involving the family and former landowners. Julius Otiso, a member of the family that currently owns the land, said he was astonished that the dispute has deteriorated to threats over people's lives.
Ndizi zimewekwa ziko chini, mboga, kahawa, ndizi, mahindi. Lakini chanzo cha hii maneno nilipokea simu ya vitisho. Na hii vitisho nilikuja nikarekodi statement kwa police station ya Mosocho. Nimekuja kusangaa kwamba na hii mambo imefanyika, nimeona kama hii boma iko katika hatari na ningeomba katika usaidizi katika serikali kutoka TCI ambaye wakuja hapa wachunguze hii ni nini kinaendelea hapa. Chief Eli alikuwa anapanga wakuja kuleta masorovea kwa boma yetu bila sisi kujua. Na tunataka kujua ni kwa nini chief anaingilia shamba letu na mambo ya isiyofuata mkondo wa serikali.
And away from that, it's exactly about 10 years since the horrific Garissa University terror attack. And today they have a commemoration service. Let's join them and listen in.
To say the vulnerabilities that they face, and also to have indications of the early warnings that people should watch out for, and also bring together communities for them to say the initiatives that they have taken in preventing and countering violent extremism. And so that portal is open for all, and it is interactive, and also to share the good practices with other communities that are facing the same challenges, because we have all learned from our experiences.
Doctor, how does that, because we have an issue of that security challenges, but how that share of what can be easily enhance security in the country?
It is actually a very engaging portal where people talk about the challenges that they face, what is reading some members of the committees of violent extremism. This first creates resilience, but also gives early warning to those that are already facing these challenges, and empower communities on what to look out for. And because now we know that we are in the technological era and everyone is on the tech space and we all have tech gadgets, it's a very potent tool of instant communication to let communities speak for themselves, what vulnerabilities, and also among themselves, watch out for among themselves, because they're the first actors as far as security is concerned.
Yeah, what message do you have attended this commemoration for this country?
We know that the terrorist attackers or the violent extremist groups misused religion. And their intention was to divide the Kenyan community along religious divides. But we want to tell everybody here, as a religious leader, I want to tell everybody that terrorism knows no religion. But terrorism misuses religion. It is unfortunate that they have misused Islam. Any other religion can be misused and has been misused. But the message that we want to tell Kenyans is this: it is in God's divine plan that we are diverse. So diversity, whether it is religious, whether it is cultural or ethnic, it is within God's plan, and we are supposed to live together. So we want to talk about promoting a dialogue, interfaith dialogue, interethnic dialogue, and the purpose is to ensure that as Kenyans, we coexist peacefully without looking at our differences of religion, without looking at our differences as far as ethnicity and other diversities are concerned. We should stand strong. The only way we can defeat the terrorist agenda is to stand together as Kenyans, because this is a common enemy that does not know religion but misuses religion. So what we want to say here as Kenyans, never again shall we allow what happened in Garissa University to happen.
Okay. Today we are seeing that
Very well, that's a live update from the Garissa University, today being one of the commemorations in regards to that terror attack where more than 140 students were murdered by terrorists who were later arrested and some were killed. Others have already been convicted as well. They've talked about standing together as Kenyans, talking about violent